And it's not an easy conversation, a conversation all about depression, about suicide, and Sakina, being the brave woman that she is, has tackled this conversation. And it's not an easy one. It's not an easy one, but I know Sakina wants to finish it off. I could finish it for you, but I know you want to finish this. So, you know, we're not going to leave it where we left it. So, yeah. Carry on, guys. This is a big conversation. It really is.
It is. Thank you so much, Nan.
Okay, you're good.
I'm all right. I think it's important, you know, that people know it's okay to talk about these things. Yes, it hurts, it's painful, but we've got to talk about it. Yes. We've got to tackle it. We can't keep hiding.
Yeah.
Because it's real. And what Sipho is doing is commendable, because he's allowing other people, you know, a space to actually have a sense of what people deal with when they go through depression.
Siska, you know, Leanne, you know, and Sissy, it's just one of those, you know, toughest, you know, things, you know, and decisions, because when we have, you know, school kids who are in grade 1, who actually, you know, write notes to say, I feel like I can sleep forever. And nobody speaks about, you know, that we have an old man like my father, you know, at 73 years old, when he was supposed to be enjoying, you know, his grandkids, decided to hang himself. You know, when you are generous in sharing your story about your daughter, you know, those are heavy, you know, discussions, you know. And when I was coming in here, one of the gentlemen, you know, said, what is this depression, you know, that is sweeping the country, you know? So when old men, you know, ask about that, when people in taxi ranks, you know, talks about that, you know, then we have to open up. We have to take our shame, put it aside, you know, because in my case, you know, where I tried to kill myself not once, not twice, but 3 times, you know, and then my father, you know, takes his life away. So the part we haven't even spoken about, you know, is the families, the grieving families.
Yeah.
Because with the grieving families, you know, they are left confused. They are left with the blame. They don't know who to turn to, because here is a person who has committed suicide or died because of
suicide.
That. So usually, as the family, we want to get the perpetrator, and yet we are divided in these 2 emotions, where the person who committed this is the one who are grieving. So we can't call the police on this person. You know, so it is that deep, it is that confusing, you know, and that's why families, you know, just decide not to share anything about it.
And, you know, therein lies part of the problem, because not only are you grieving, but there's the secondary victimization of people wanting to blame somebody. Yeah. And very often it is the family, whereas the family themselves don't know, you know, what actually went on here. For example, and maybe just on a point of clarity, Sipho, when you tried to take your own life, what was going on in your mind?
In my mind, I just wanted peace. I just wanted the pain to go, because you just can't share the pain with anybody. You know, you just want to sleep. But yet, in that second, you know, when I was hanging in the tree, I did not want to die. And then the rope snapped. But I didn't give up. I looked for a second tree. I tied up that rope, and in the second tree, the branch snapped. And those were few seconds, you know, of me living or dying. And that is why, for me, I have to help somebody who is at least miles away from that decision.
And, you know, it also speaks to why I decided to go very public in my grief. I grieved publicly because survivors, you spoke about the families, you know, who are left behind. Very often they have to crawl into another dark hole somewhere because everybody is looking accusingly at them, as if they were the ones who pulled the trigger themselves, as if they were the one who pulled the rope over your neck, because people always looking for someone to blame.
And if I may come in, you know, another sad part with families, after the family member has passed on, what is scary is they reenact the scene. So if the family member shot themselves, you know, they'll take a gun and put it against their head just to feel those last moments of their family member, you know, taking their lives. Or they will go to that bridge where the person jumped. And that is secondary, you know, self-brutalization, you know, and that confusion.
So what can we do, you know, in order to create greater awareness, to make people understand that, as you pointed out earlier, this has nothing to do with your social standing. It has nothing to do with your race, with your religion, or even your age. It's just something that happens to people. And there's no telling who, when, how, or why even.
My challenge, you know, and what I'm trying to do now, it is to speak with what is now referred to as the black excellence, you know, the black academia, you know, because these are the black folks, you know, who are caught up in between, you know, where at home we don't speak about these things, and yet you find these professionals, you know, in positions as HR directors, HR practitioners, you know, where an employee comes to them, but they don't know what to do, how to handle it, you know, and themselves, you know, they can't even speak about it because once you share, you get victimized, you know. If somebody comes and say, I am suffering from bipolar, you know, that goes into your record, you know, and you get penalized, you know, or as a senior manager, you know, you get excluded from decisions in the company, you know, and that is a double whammy. So my suggestion is, you know, taking those baby steps, you know, talking more about organizations, you know, like SADC, you know, who are doing a great, you know, job. I mean, myself and my friends, you know, we're trying to bring an American, you know, technology platform, you know, which is where people can, while sitting here, you know, somebody can go into their phone and say, I am depressed. What can I do? You know, not being ashamed, not walking, you know, anywhere. You know, it's called crisis text line. You know, so we need to have more of these platforms, more of these, you know, solutions. You know, because there is not enough that we can do.
Absolutely,
we have to start somewhere and engage.
Absolutely, and I'm glad that you are looking into that, and you know, wish you every success because it's such an important issue. And Sipho's book, Killer in My Head. And I was reading through some of it, and it is chilling, but it does give one a sense of exactly what someone who finds themselves in the depths of despair actually goes through. And I must thank you for sharing and being brave enough to open up about this, because not many people do.
Thank you for sharing as well and being brave enough yourself. And thank you to Leanne as well, you know, for the support as well.
Yeah,
you know.
thanks
yes.
for...
I'm sitting silently on the side here. That's all I'm here for. But and I think that's what the support people need. I mean, you need to speak about this. It's not something you need to shy away. And that's why for you to continue this interview, to continue it in the face of what you're going through, is the most admirable thing. And both of you, thank you again for sharing and opening up the deeper secrets of your heart, because that takes a brave person to do. All right, so I'm going to wrap it for you. Sipho Simelane and Sakina Kamwendo. Really, as somebody said it on Twitter, I saw a tweet coming through saying, this is not an interview, this is a real conversation. Thank you to both of you. We're going to take a break, and, oh no, we're not. We've got some weather. Hopefully it's very sunny. Nothing sad about the weather, I hope. Siklet, over to you.
Yes, there's nothing said about the weather, Leanne, you're quite right.